Importantly, thank you all for coming out, because I realize you make sacrifices to come here this evening and to get to be with us. And I'm in a very privileged situation where I do get to often travel with my husband when he goes to grassroots meetings all across this country. And he's in a very blessed situation where he gets to meet like-minded individuals like yourselves in this room all over the country. Wow. And these meetings are happening every single day, almost every hour of the day, all across this country. So number one, I want you to know you are not alone. Number two, I want you to know you are the difference makers. You are the miracle makers of this country, and you can save this country. One of the things I realized having this blessed front row seat to this movement is when this all started with Rick Santelli's rant in 2009, and my husband had seen that and heard that and was devastated when that happened, because at one point he was devastated at what he was saying, and the other point he said, you know what, I'm not alone. And within just 3 days, he decided to have the first Capitol rally down at the Sacramento Capitol. Now, we had 3 days. We'd never had a Facebook page, very private people. We decided, you know what, we're going to step out, we're going to try and make a difference. So we went down there and took my 2 kids out of school, his mom and dad, grandma and grandpa. We were sure there was going to be 6 of us. And that's all we were sure of, is that there was going to be 6 of us. We went down to the Capitol, we had the Facebook page up. We took 45 signs. Grandpa had drawn the signs up. He's quite a cartoonist. It was great. I brought my staple gun and my sticks, and I kneeled down on the lawn and started staple gunning signs. And as people walked by, I said, and I'd never done anything like this in my entire life. And mind you, I was scared to do it, but I knew we had to do something. So as people passed by, I said, if you're interested, grab a sign. Well, the next thing you know, 45 signs were gone. Until I'd say, wait a minute, that's Grandpa's and that's my little 9-year-old daughter, so can't take those 2. So we held a rally. It was about 150 people that showed up, okay, on 3 days' notice. It was pretty exciting. We left there, we went out to lunch. When we went out to lunch, the 6 of us were sitting at lunch, and my husband said, this was pretty amazing on 3 days' notice. Think about what we could do before April 15th, tax day. That's almost 7 weeks away. In less than 7 weeks, what do you think we can do? My husband started to get excited about it. He went home, went online to find out who else held these tax day rallies on February 27, 2009. Lo and behold, there were about 48 individuals, just like us, who stood up on that first day. Okay, he connected with all of them via the internet and telephone and said, we're going to have conference calls together every week, and we're going to stand together, and we're going to do this again on tax day. Yeah. Okay, well, by the time tax day came, April 15th, 2009, at the Capitol, we were one of 850 plus individuals that had reported to our offices they were going to hold rallies. Mark asked those individuals, will you let me know how many of you showed up at those 850 plus rallies around the country? And of course, we were fortunate. Fox News reached out to us right away. Neil Cavuto was there with Fox. We had over 20,000 people there at the Capitol. Oh. The police officer on the stage next to me said, do you see the flags out there? Do you see the signs out there? I said, yes, I do, sir. And he said, do you realize you're on 11th Avenue on the Capitol grounds and you were staring at 7th Avenue? And this is the first time in history I've seen 10th Avenue shut down. A few like-minded people did this, I understand. That's you. That's the miracle makers. Okay, so when we get home, it gets bigger. Couldn't believe this. After April 15th, before then in those planning stages, via internet, via telephone, contacting all these people, thousands of phone calls coming into my house, because on that Facebook page we put our home phone number we didn't know. Morning, noon, and night, my phone was ringing off the hook. He couldn't answer the phones anymore. I mean, just going call to call to call, could never dial out. And I have several lines coming into my house. They were all booked. I'm making dinner, answering the phone. People are saying, what is this? Is this Democrat? Is this Republican? I said, you know what? Here's the thing. There are red states, there are blue states. This is red, white, and blue. This is all American. If you believe in fiscal responsibility, a constitutionally limited government, and free markets, this is the place for you. Meet me at the Capitol at noon. They said, you know, I got to be honest with you, I'm scared to do this. Never done anything like this before. I said, welcome to the club. I've never done anything like this in my whole life either. Never pictured I would, but it's time to take a stand, and I'm asking you to stand with me. And they said, well, you know, I got to be honest with you. As a conservative, this is not really in my DNA to do this. So here's another miracle that happens, because this happens all across the nation. All these people come out, and this person's, many of them, said this same thing, and I'm scared to do it. And I said, I understand, but I'm not asking like our military to risk your life for our freedoms and liberty. I'm asking you to write your feelings on a sign and meet me at the Capitol at noon. asking you to be, they call this country the land of the brave and the land of the free. I'm asking you to be brave so we can all remain free. And that's all I'm asking you to do. And what they said is, well, is it just going to be me and you? I said, well, I don't think so, because you're the 10,000th caller the last few weeks here in my home, and I'm making dinner for the kids, and this is it. So all these people came out, and as I'm standing there and seeing this happen, we go home, and Mark connects with them, and he asked them before the event on tax day rallies, days all across the country, he said, please email me or phone me and tell me how many people showed up. So I'm in my little house in Grass Valley on my 10-key calculator adding up all the people across the country. Between 1.2 and 1.3 million people showed up that day. Okay, so then I start to do internet research and I realized we were the largest single-day multi-city protest in world history at 7 weeks old. What I realized is there's nothing you can't do. There is nothing you can't do. You are miracle makers, and you are in this room because you are heeding the call. And I am so grateful and so blessed to get to surround myself with you throughout my life. And I cannot even begin to tell you what an improvement in my quality of life it has been to get to know individuals like you. Because you're in this room not for yourself, because that's not who you are. You're here for your kids, you're here for your grandkids, you're here for this nation.
Yes.
You are the founding fathers of this nation. You are the difference makers of this nation. You are the miracle makers. And that day when that miracle happened, and I stood there on that stage and saw the flags and the signs as far as the eye could see, and when I learned about 1.2 to 1.3 million people that came out, that was just the beginning. In 2010, the largest sweep of the House, you did that. Okay, so there's nothing you can't do, and I just want to make sure that you're all clear of that, because I have the blessed viewpoint of a front row seat at a lot of these meetings all across the country when I get to travel with my husband, and he's at a whole lot more. But it's not that I have rose-colored glasses on. I'm seeing clear, and it's happening everywhere. So I want you to know you're not alone, and you can make anything happen. The next thing I want to ask you is that if you're here to heed the call, I'm going to ask that there are people in this room who have stepped up to do even more than just show up at a meeting, which is phenomenal that you show up at a meeting, and I'm so grateful that you do. But right now, the need is greater. And when I think about what some of our founding fathers did and what they risked in standing up for this country, they risked their lives.
Yes.
And they did it for liberty. And so what I'm asking is that if you in this room could help in a few different ways. One of the things is that I realize what's great is you're busting out of this room. Okay, and you're going to need a larger room soon. And when you do need a larger room, that's going to cost money. I mean, that's the reality of it. And the local coordinators like Terry all across this country who step up and heed this call and sacrifice their time to plan these meetings, to get speakers to come to these meetings, to pay for these rooms, to pay for the treats and the water and the pocket constitutions and everything else to support this happening. Any support that you can provide her is so much appreciated. And that you are the ones to step up to do this because you're the ones who stepped up to come here tonight. So in fundraising, many chapters have called me and said, okay, well, what's working in some other chapters? Barbecues. For instance, to do a barbecue, like when I did my first event, I didn't know what I was doing at my first event. In those 10,000 calls, I had someone who called and said, you know what, I have a Statue of Liberty I'd like to loan you. Can I loan you my Statue of Liberty? I wouldn't have thought to find out where to get a Statue of Liberty, but I got one, free and donated. Okay. Another person said, hey, I own a balloon company. Can I donate my red, white, and blue balloons to decorate the stage? That'd be great. And my next thought is, I guess I gotta get a stage. The next person calls and says, hey, I'd like to donate my sound system. I went, great, that sounds perfect. I guess I'm gonna need a sound system. Next woman calls up, Lisa Ellis. You probably heard her sing God Bless America, our national anthem at most of our major rallies. She just called out of the blue and said, guess what? My gift from God is my voice, and I would like to offer that up to you, and I'd like to offer that up to this movement. How incredible is that? Most of these things I would have never thought of. I didn't even know I needed most of these things in order to help play a supportive role. So there are things that maybe you know that you have access to or that you have a gift of, that you've come here tonight heeding the call. I ask that you think about what it is that you can do that can help support this meeting. Maybe it's that you know of a larger room when the meeting needs to go to a larger room. Maybe it's that you have something to donate to a silent auction. For a lot of people, when I first brought up the silent auction idea, we needed to raise a lot of money. Because those big rallies, they cost tens of thousands of dollars. First silent auction fundraised $10,000. Okay, and basically sent out an email, and I said, you know what, we need some things. We don't ever promote any businesses or any services from anybody. That's not what we're about. We stick true to our core principles, but this is an opportunity if you have a business or a service, or know somebody else that has a business or service that would like to donate a good, they can promote their goods or their services in front of this group of individuals. And who is a better customer or a better client than you are? Okay, you are a target market for a lot of people. So if you know of a business or a service that somebody can provide that can be donated to the silent auction, I gratefully ask that you either donate it or you ask somebody else that you know to donate it. The other thing is that I realized when I put my first silent auction together, and it was the first idea that came up, and I'm an involved parent at the school, and that was what I knew to do at my kid's school. But I realized there's some talents that we need. You know, somebody that's willing to send out an email, someone that's willing to track some of the goods. So if there's a group of people that might say, you know, really, I did that with 3 people. Myself, a good friend of mine who is another parent involved at school and has done something like that before, and her mom. And the 3 of us fundraised all the goods, tracked all the goods, put out all the sheets, found somebody who donated the 8-foot tables to put the goods out, because I realized I needed that as I was going along. Anything like that you can think up that you can contribute or help with. The other thing is that a lot of small chapters out there, because they are fiscally responsible, and they do realize they want to accomplish some things in the community, and they do need funding, and a self-governing minded group of individuals realize that, you know what, nobody else is going to just cut us the check to do that. We have to figure out how to make that happen. So there are other things you can do, for instance, like a movie night. And I donated a couple movies tonight. If you want to hold movie nights, and here with the screens even in this room, it's a wonderful way for one person who comes to the meeting to be able to invite their neighbors. Because a lot of people don't know what to say to bring somebody to the meeting. But to invite them to a movie night, that's a social gathering. It's an easy way to do that. Grow the group, and who knows, maybe that next other individual may be the person that has something that they want to contribute to the silent auction, or they want to help with the fundraising committee and help out in many ways. Another chapter was very successful in fundraising because they realized, you know, we are constitutionalists, and many of us are very strong believers in the Second Amendment. Another chapter I know did a course, a CCW course. Realized we have a sheriff here. How open are you to CCWs in the community, sir? Might I ask?
275% over my predecessor in the first year. We're on track for being 400% in this year.
God bless you, sir.
We have sheriff. And this is Mr. Sheriff DeAugustini, if you don't know, and we are so blessed, and just thank you for coming. Thank you for being our sheriff.
So we had one chapter that decided, you know what, a lot of Second Amendment supporters, a lot of people did want to get their CCW. You're all very trustworthy people, the type of people that the Sheriff's Department does want to have armed out there to help keep the community safe. And so she held a course. She spoke to somebody who was a trainer, said, come on out to my parcel. I happen to have a range. You can train as many people that want to sign up. An email went out, 45 people signed up. Okay. What the trainer said is let me give a huge percentage of that back to the chapter, and now the chapter was able to make a very nice fundraising day from somebody else training individuals to get their CCWs that were Second Amendment supporters and wanted that in the community. So it was another way to deliver a service to like-minded individuals that want a particular service and be able to fundraise for the chapter. But we need people who have ideas like that. Whether it's a movie night, whether it's a barbecue, whether it's a silent auction, whether it's a Second Amendment class, things like that. So if you are someone who says, you know what, I'm going to brainstorm in that maybe with the group. I'd like to be part of the fundraising committee. That's the support team that continues to make this happen. The Revolutionary War actually had some funders and had some individuals, a group of small individuals who got together and funded the revolution. I ask that you consider funding the Second American Revolution. So that's what I have to share with you tonight. Other than that, I'd love to introduce to you